It was just me for a second.
Yo!
Hey, yo.
Single live stream. Speaking of single, dude, Miss Minute's kind of desperate.
She didn't want to be single no more, dude. Spoiler warning.
Yeah.
Forgot to say one last time.
Are we live?
Yeah, we're live.
Sick. What's up, guys? For everybody who's on, if you haven't joined yet, it's cool. Man.
Pull it up on here.
What an episode. We're posting on Twitter, letting people know we're live or whatever. Oh,
it's going to be infinite loop.
No, we can't do that. What'd you think about the episode, man?
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad it was 55 minutes long, counting credits, I guess. But
yeah, I think technically, so from a technical aspect, not regarding just the episode itself, but I think this episode did a lot of things differently in Marvel that we really haven't seen yet. So it had a lot of different music choices and
music was sick.
Shot choices, chase choices. Like a lot of it was very different. But I think it kind of worked. It felt kind of quirky.
I need to remember some of the things I was thinking about during the episode. I should write things down.
Yeah, I was going to say, they usually gradually come back to us about like 10, 15 minutes in. So, until then, it's usually mindless rambling until we find something to I almost said log onto, to latch onto. I guess my immediate inclination is to reference what we talked about last live stream. We basically predicted this episode, I think, with the help of Arthur MC00.
Yeah,
he might be on the stream. I'm not sure.
I would say in general, we said it was going to start with the flashback. We'd see Renslayer kind of try and find him, but I didn't foresee Victor's only option was to go with Loki really at the end.
Yeah,
in Mobius. So he kind of was willingly going with him at that point. So
yeah, but the whole theory that Arthur pointed out about Miss Minutes kind of slowly over time creating the new
that was spot on.
Yeah, that was definitely spot on. And you may know something that we don't know, but that was definitely that was pretty credible. That was pretty credible.
It was definitely credible.
Yeah,
and we definitely did not see the moment with the telephone and the elevator still. So I still think that the Nolan theory can hold true.
Yeah.
So that didn't get disregarded this episode.
Yeah. So what was your favorite part of the episode?
Probably when they get teleported to the end of time. I think that was dope, dude. The music and just the fact that we didn't know what was gonna happen. He was still sitting there, but it was zoomed out enough. Me and you were both like, "Is he alive?
Yeah,
is there a small chance he's alive?"
Yeah.
And then no, he's just a rotting corpse.
Maybe Miss Minutes has some kind of secret healing power we don't know about. She could bring him back to life.
Yo, Miss Minutes, man.
Yeah,
I wouldn't leave them two alone in a room together.
Yeah, no, dude, Miss Minutes was being kind of sus this episode. I was like, whenever they get to the end of the time, she was kind of she talks to Renslayer and she's like, "I got a secret to tell you." But you're gonna make you really angry, and I'm just thinking,
cliffhanger. It's a cliffhanger.
Yeah, it's a cliffhanger, but I'm like, I almost felt that scene at the end felt very weird to me.
It was odd. You would think, considering Miss Minutes just sabotaged Renslayer, that she'd be more upset.
Yeah.
And she just kind of lets her out nonchalantly, like it was all a part of the plan.
Yeah, and to make it to the end of time. So, to me, there felt like there was more to that than just now they're, stuck in the end of time.
Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised. Loki has a way of, leading you down the wrong path where you think something's obvious.
Yeah.
And it's just not.
That's true. Arthur says, bro, Miss Minutes, it was terrifying. Bro, you have no idea, man.
The first time Miss Minutes came on screen, it wasn't even a jump scare. It just panned and she was there.
Just staring at somebody. This whole time, bro. She's been.
But yeah, as far as pursuing Victor Timely, dude, that was sus.
Yeah, that was kind of sus. Yeah, you could see it. You could see it the whole time too. Because whenever Renslayer and him are talking on the steamship as they're traveling from Chicago to Wisconsin, she was getting jelly. You could tell the side eye. They left her in frame on purpose. She walked in frame on purpose just so you could see her. And then Renslayer makes the grave mistake of mentioning partnership to Time and that was the end.
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah, until they reunited at the end again, I guess.
But even like Miss Minutes did that too. She was like, that way we could really rule together or something like that if she could have a body. And
yeah, I think she was just kind of jealous of Renslayer,
yeah,
which I didn't really see that coming. I guess it makes sense.
yeah. I guess when you really think about it, like they really were his two women
Yeah.
in a way. Like Renslayer was. We know that him and Renslayer were they led together from those audio
Yeah.
recordings.
The thought crossed my mind that Miss Minutes like was Renslayer for a second.
Yeah, I did honestly thought that too for a second.
In that He Who Remains just like kind of banished her into a clock form, so that way it wouldn't be like a partnership.
Yeah.
In a real sense, but that would be nuts. But I think what's going to be revealed is that Kang or He Who Remains kind of like pushed Renslayer out. And that's what she's not gonna or is gonna make her angry.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's pretty because we can tell something must have happened from the current TVA because like the Renslayer we know was rolling with Kang and then now she was just a judge.
Because we heard the recordings in episode 1, I think it was, of this
season.
Yeah. And they sound definitely like they were together.
But it keeps on bringing me back to that question I asked on the first stream. I wonder when Kang rebranded the TVA. That's what I've been trying to figure out this whole time. Is like when did we go from the first TVA ruled by Kang that Loki was in, like whenever he kept on jumping back and forth from the past to the present. When did we go from that TVA to the TVA ruled by the Timekeepers and why?
Yeah, see, I was also kind of thinking like, I forget what type of time travel they call it, but like it was always going to happen this way, and that maybe it's just an infinite loop. Like if He Who Remains dies, Victor Timely always comes back as like the same one, or like to take his place. But I don't know, man. I definitely think it's more linear as far as his life. But I don't know. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, I just can't. Back to that's the question I come back to every episode. I'm like, I want to figure out why. Like, why did he rebrand the TVA? Like, what went wrong?
I think we'll see it. I think maybe it could be like a Hela and Odin situation. Like He Who Remains and Renslayer were rolling together.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why he doesn't like partnership. Like there's something happened. He cast her out, made her a judge or whatever, wiped her memory, and that's when they rebranded.
Yeah.
And He Who Remains was like, I'm gonna take my face out of it. She's gonna be a judge. So that way,
and then Miss
like
Minutes can do
happen.
all of the admin side of things, while I kind of just sit at the end of time, making sure everything else stays solid. Yeah, I guess that's a simple enough explanation. So, just got done watching it. Was gonna wait for next week.
It was good.
Oh, it was good. Sorry, I can't.
There's like a heart there.
He said, "This makes sense." Yeah, that's. I hope it makes sense.
We can't wait for next week.
Yeah, X-Men for sure. We can't wait for next week either. I think this episode really set up the next couple weeks really good.
We were just talking about that. What if Ravonna is Miss Minutes? That would be crazy. I mean, it crossed my mind. The thought crossed my mind that maybe that's where like Victor Timely and He Who Remains innate hatred of partnership is because like back in the day he had a falling out with Renslayer and like made her into Miss Minutes or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and it would make sense why there's some sense of animosity between them two. Like you got the Miss Minutes like spiritual version of Renslayer, and then you got like the actual version of Renslayer. So like Miss Minutes sees the Renslayer body that was and she's jealous of that, and then like Renslayer sees the Miss Minutes like being super close to like working with
and he just kind of separated them.
He just kind of separated them between two distinct entities that ruled the TVA. And why like we were saying earlier, and he just sat at the end of time kind of chilling. Like he was like, I took my my partner and just made them rule it while I was actually pulling strings in the background, you know?
Yeah. And I guess the other thing is what was it they had to go get? That little like orb thing. Have we seen that before? I don't know. Was that the time loop accelerator thing or multiplier to like allow more, because that's kind of what OB was saying is like so that way they could allow more timelines to stream through the loom without it overloading.
which we didn't really see much of them throughout the episode.
Yeah, it was pretty much all in Chicago and then Wisconsin, I guess. But
yeah.
And also, speaking of OB, it's pretty interesting that...
Oh, yeah, this is interesting.
It's pretty interesting that he was still the author of the handbook they gave to Victor Timely.
Yeah.
I don't think He Who Remains let that slide, because he said, this is what you need to give to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. And it showed OB's picture in there. So, I think he's a big deal, man. I've had a feeling this whole time. I don't know what it is, though. I can't put my finger.
I just had an idea.
Oh.
Okay. Think about this. Think. All right. I may be cooking right here. I'm not sure. All right. So there are 3 timekeepers, or they're not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What if Kang, He Who Remains at the End of Time, decided to create the theme, like the 3 timekeepers, as like these ethereal entities that people could never see, but they were actually just real people placed throughout the TVA. So think about it. Miss Minutes could be a time, or it could be one of the timekeepers. Renslayer and OB. Yeah, so I feel like there is some merit to that theory, though, that he split the timekeepers up in 3 distinct, or like 3 hidden in plain sight people, and just decided to make them like kind of like a Mount Rushmore type thing. Like the ethereal timekeepers were like the Mount Rushmore, but the Mount Rushmore actually existed in real life.
Yeah, it reminds me of like the 3 branches of government or something.
Yeah. Judiciary, then you got like Congress that makes the laws, and then you got like the executive powers that enforces them. So I guess maybe
that makes the laws would be OB, because he wrote the handbook, and then Miss Minutes
enforces them. Yeah.
Dang, dude, I like that.
Yeah. Dang. Wow. U.S. government coming in clutch. But what else was interesting in this episode? I feel there was definitely a lot going on.
I think it was interesting to learn that Victor Timely was a part of the Sacred Timeline. So
yeah,
he predates Howard Stark and
he predates
stuff, right?
Every Avenger,
I guess
every hero that we know of he predates.
So it's weird to think about. I guess he branches off. So like, if they didn't give him the book, he just go on to be like a famous scientist. I feel like we would have heard about him in the MCU if he was like a super famous scientist. Yeah,
we definitely would have. But whenever they give him the book, as Sylvie and Renslayer pointed out, not Renslayer, whoever it was, it created a branch with him. And so...
Yeah, but if a branch happens, the main timeline keeps going.
Still continues,
so
yeah.
I don't know, maybe, I don't know.
Wait, no, but as soon as something changes... As soon as something changes at that moment, it would create a branch. But so like
it would create a branch, but the sacred timeline
has to keep it going. Yeah. So I guess how does that really work then? Because is there like
except for Loki's case, because he himself like teleported out.
No,
but also Loki continued on.
No, but see, that doesn't really make any sense though, because if they hand him the book, and that creates a branch in that moment, then that timeline has now completely been deformed. You know what I'm saying? Like, the sacred timeline would no longer continue at that point, because
That's why they had to prune.
Yeah, that's why they had to prune, but if they don't prune, then the sacred timeline is... Okay, so I guess that's kind of like the thing where, like, it doesn't exist anymore. But and I guess, like, if time is, like, something that can be traveled along... Like, there are parts of the sacred timeline that stay pretty constant because nobody's traveling to them. But if they're traveling just to, like, quote-unquote nexus events, then, like, if that makes any sense. I don't know if that makes any sense. But
I think it just keeps moving, and then, like, the moment he went and picked up the book, when he's picking up the book, that timeline branches off, but the same one just keeps going. So he would have remained who he was in that timeline.
So is there a reality where, like, in that moment he didn't pick up the book?
Yeah, and I think that's what the sacred timeline still is.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I guess that just doesn't really make... it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense.
Because the sacred timeline... I think that's what the whole problem is now. Like, if they don't fix the temporal loom, everything's going to fall apart.
Yeah.
So I think that's what the whole problem is. Like, the stuff like that can't happen anymore if they don't fix it, because it can't handle that many branches. I don't know. It is really confusing.
Yeah, but I mean, back to what we were saying about OB. Like, OB is he's a very interesting character that we've barely seen so far, except for in like the first episode. But he will definitely. I feel like now that we've got all three of the main like TVA keepers back, something's gonna happen where they like see each other and it all comes back to the baby.
I was about to say, I think now I'm kind of thinking that Victor Timely's gonna link up with OB because he's kind of like his hero in a way. He's like this guy, you know. He inspired a lot of my work, so yeah. Which also he inspired OB, but
yeah.
I think he's gonna meet up with him and maybe like OB is gonna like help bring him back to power. I don't know.
Yeah, and so like the branch and the root at the same time. Jesus is branch and root of Jesse. That is, it's both simultaneously. But yeah, like that is a good point. That like he made OB, but also OB made him. I guess like the future version of him in a way.
I think there's more to OB. Maybe he's not even a variant because everyone in the TVA is variants.
Yeah.
So maybe like he never had a life on the sacred timeline, and he's just. I think there's more to him. I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of what I kind of feel like is I feel like it feels to me like Renslayer and obviously Miss Minutes are at different stages. So like if everybody in the TVA is like just a normal field agent, they're like managers, and then you've got like the owner, which is King. So like. It feels to me like they're on the same level. So I don't know if that makes any sense, but
yeah, I still feel like obviously Renslayer doesn't know everything. Miss Minutes knows more than her, and OB's memories seemingly never got wiped.
Yeah.
So I feel like Renslayer is gonna find out her past, and then they'll all be kind of on like the same level as far as like knowing what happened. And I feel like that's when we'll see the flashback as Miss Minutes is explaining to Renslayer.
So do you think that OB's evil then? Do you think?
I think there's a chance. I hate to say it because I love OB, but
yeah.
I don't think he's inherently evil, but I don't know, man. I could see him teaming up with Timely.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess like maybe for the greater good because he probably cares more about the TVA than he does anything else. So
yeah, I mean,
that he created. Yeah. I guess in a sense created the bylaws of it. So.
Yeah, I mean he's by the book, so like he wants things to be fixed, so he's gonna see the guy who can fix it, and maybe they'll team up and King will be on top. I don't know.
Yeah, and so maybe if he like, but he doesn't. But I feel like he would know who he who remains is though.
That's why I feel like there's something more to him because his memory never got wiped.
Yeah, as far as we know.
As far as we know, I mean,
it could have gotten wiped a little bit later or like later than everybody else's to the point where like he still remembers stuff that nobody else would remember. But not far enough back to where he would remember. Like I'm sure King didn't really want to leave any, except for like probably Miss Minutes. I would say Miss Minutes is
unless it's like you're saying, and he's just kind of like working with Loki right now because he has to fix things and pretending to be on their side. And when Victor Timely shows back up, he's gonna, what's up, bro?
Yeah, see, and that would be an ultimate fool. Like, you know, when you think about Secret Invasion, the whole tagline was like, "Who can you trust?"
Yeah,
and it was like pretty apparent right from the beginning, like that you could trust this person, and not trust this person. Like, we all knew Scrody was a thing, and we called it like first episode. But I would never. I have to say, like, if OB ended up being evil, I would not see that coming from a million miles away.
That would be sick, man. I feel like I would love it if they fixed the loom, and then afterwards, they just talk like they've known each other for thousands of years. Or whatever.
Yeah, what up, bro? Yeah, like that. But I mean, obviously, something has to happen to the TVA to leave it in the state that it's in whenever Loki gets teleported there
in the future.
Yeah, something has to happen. So I imagine. I mean, obviously, Victor Timely's there. His temporal aura would be able to open up the blast doors. So something's got to go horribly wrong this next episode. In order to put them in a position. I mean, and really, I guess if you think about it, this could be the episode where we see the flashback.
Yeah.
This next episode could be the episode where we see the flashback where Loki hears the phone and gets proved.
So the flash forward?
Yeah, I guess flash forward.
The flashback in my mind is, I feel like we'll still see a flashback of Renslayer, like what happened there, and when the TVA made the transition to.
Yeah, that's been my persistent question. Is that I need to know that. I need to know when the TVA switched and why. Why did it switch from like just Kang? But because I feel like there's got to be a significant reason that he would do that. Like, why would you put yourself behind the scenes if like you don't have to, and especially if nobody's like coming after you either. Like, there's no reason for you to go in hiding.
I really like your theory. Like maybe something happens and he's like, okay, yeah, I mean, OB, Miss Minutes, and Renslayer, which he wiped Renslayer's memory, but it's like, you're going to have to be the 3 timekeepers.
Mm-hmm.
And
in essence, that's really what they did. Like, when you really think about it, like, Renslayer was constantly pruning timelines and judging variants and, like, sending them to the void, I guess, to be pruned. So, like, she was timekeeping in that way. OB was timekeeping in the sense that he was creating the laws which which Renslayer had to operate by and judge by, and then Miss Minutes was there enforcing all of like the logistics of the timeline, like or like preserving the timeline and creating, I guess, rules for the timeline. So I don't know, like there's definitely there's merit to that theory, I think, but
I like it a lot. That it makes a lot of sense because there's definitely more to OB, and we know that Renslayer and Miss Minutes have both been by Kang's side at some point.
Yeah.
And possibly OB too. I'm kind of hoping that at this point that happens because it would be a big switch.
Yeah, it would be. It would be a big switch. It would be. I feel like it'd be a rewarding switch too.
Yeah, it would be something we didn't see coming, but also would make sense because they've been hinting at it.
Yeah. And it like we contrasted it earlier to Secret Invasion. It wouldn't feel like that. It wouldn't feel like this is somebody you knew you couldn't trust the whole time. Like, yeah, we have that inkling about OB, but like he's just so nice. Like, it's just such an innocent guy. But it's like, how would he ever like betray them? But
I just envision like flashbacks. We see like OB explaining that it was OB all along, like WandaVision or something. And why no one was visiting him is because he was talking directly to Kang.
Yeah. And, like, maybe nobody actually knew he existed, like, except for the fact that they would just be like, place your broken stuff here and somebody will fix it and then go back up. So, because it's just weird. I mean, it's weird that we didn't see anything about him last season and with a fully functioning TVA. He only came in whenever the TVA was broken. So it's almost like maybe he's a part of Kang's contingency.
Yeah.
He could be.
Yeah, that's true.
Because we know Kang has a contingency, so... Wait, but didn't Mobius remember OB?
Uh-uh. Remember, he kept getting things wrong when they were talking to each other, and OB was like, no, this is what happened.
Yeah, but how did he know he existed? He knew like he was down there, right?
Yeah, I feel like... So, our friend Eric Voss was saying, like... You can just send it through a tube or whatever, the stuff that's broken, and then even right at the door to OB, there's like boxes you can put the stuff in. So most people just didn't go see them; they just put it in the tubes or whatever.
Dang.
But Mobius is just the type of guy to go say what's up.
Yeah, that dude.
And also, like, I guess another thing is like maybe Mobius, because he remembers jet skis, and so he was either buying or selling a jet ski when he got taken from the timeline or something. So like maybe like. Your memory comes back vaguely from stuff in the past, like it wasn't fully wiped or stuff just comes back to him, like the jet skis or like calling him OB or something. But yeah, I think his memory was wiped. He just kind of like remembered. Eric Voss pointed that out in his breakdown. He's like, once he got there or something, he was like, wait, how did I know to get here? Something like that happened but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, like that was thinking that too, because I was like, how, like he knew that place existed where OB was at, but
Eric Voss breaks it down. I remember.
I might need to go watch that then. You know, our friend Eric Voss, a good friend of the channel. Dude, really, honestly, part of what started the channel, I guess, in a sense.
He's the GOAT, dude.
Yeah, the best. Anybody says otherwise, I just disagree with you, and it's okay to be wrong. But, yeah, I mean, I guess that is there anything else that we can like really, dive
So I guess
into?
Miss Toast is just Miss Ghost.
Yeah, the ghost of Midway, the ghost clock of Midway. Dude, I mean, heck, it makes sense if you're trying to scare people off, like your created AI that's got...
That would be scary, dude.
Yeah, that would be scary for people. I mean, it would be scary now, but imagine in like 1893, you'd be like, you see that running around, you're probably I'd definitely be going the other way.
It, dude.
Yeah. That the whole sequence in the World's Fair was really cool. Like we said at the very beginning of the stream, like it did feel a lot different, like very different from the way that Marvel usually films. Like the music choices, the style, it all felt it felt odd. But I think that works now. I feel like Marvel's needing to differentiate there. Kind of like what Andor was for Star Wars. They need to have things that stick to the tried and true method, but also things that branch out a little bit. So,
dude, I just thought of something. What if Victor Timely prunes Loki because he knows he needs Loki to take him back to the TVA?
That's true. It could be him. Yeah, it could be him. Wait, but I mean, I feel like he's kind of handicapped right now. And like he's handicapped by being. It'd be like if a Neanderthal showed up in like the Middle Ages, like, or I guess like the medieval era. They would be so confused. Like,
yeah, but he's already like he had the TVA handbook. Like he already is up to speed. He, like he said, he just didn't have
the current. Yeah. It does feel so. I guess like
and he's like super smart. Like he'll catch on to whatever in like 10 seconds. Like I feel like OB will fill him in on what's happening. If they're together.
Is Victor Timely his name, or is that like his alias?
I think it's his name.
Because okay, well, Kang in the comics is Nathaniel Richards, but I guess they probably can't. I guess they probably really can't introduce Nathaniel Richards because they haven't introduced Reed Richards yet. So well, people say he might be part of Reed Richards' bloodline. They're not sure, but I know.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought about that.
I think. Yeah, I've said like 10 people have pruned Loki.
Yeah.
But I really feel like it's going to be OB or...
Kind of trash, bro.
We're back.
Bro, why does it keep on doing that? It's tough out here, man.
Well, I feel like we threw some good theories out there.
Yeah, for sure, dude. I don't know why I'm tired. Golly. Anyway, yeah.
Reload this thing.
Ooh, yes. BoomShot live.
We're back.
Yeah, Arthur and X-Man, you got nothing? Any last thoughts before we sign off for the night? Other than you're ready for week 4, which, by the way, we are definitely ready for week 4 of Loki. Dude, I think where's the show at for you, I guess, as we see if there's any reply.
As far as Marvel Disney Plus shows, I think it's top 2 with
Loki
season 1.
Loki season 1, yeah. As far as like, I guess shows of the year maybe.
Shows of the year, I'd say. What else? Was Last of Us was this year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So far, that's tough to say. I like Night Agent too.
Night Agent was really good.
I think this is top 2 with Ahsoka. Personally.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to see the rest of it, but I've really, really enjoyed this show. Like,
yeah, it keeps you intrigued. So that's the cool part about it is it does leave you on the edge of your seat wanting more. So they've definitely done that really well since Loki season 1. So hopefully this show continues to be good. And I'm excited to see what they have next episode. So
big time.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess any last thoughts before we sign off?
Yeah, I like the theory about the 3 branches, the 3 timekeepers. So I like that. I feel
Let's
like
see if
we'll
it has
that.
merit. If it is, that would be one of the channel's greatest predictions of all time.
That would be sick, man.
Yeah, but anyway, I guess that we're gonna call it a night. I think he's got work tomorrow, so you've been going back and forth, different states.
Traveled a few states today.
So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and close it off. So thank you guys for watching the stream. It's been fun, and we'll see you in the next one. And sorry for Verizon.